Okay, I just want to give you a little update here, coming from the Office of Addiction Services and Support, OASIS, uh, and it's based on the new Part 822 General Service Standards for Outpatient Treatment Providers. And I'm including this update in my Group Therapy, a Skills Perspective 4.0 online course. So if you're taking that course, I have another course on professional documentation, the reflective relationship between the treatment plan and the progress notes, which really does get into in depth with the Part 822 new General Service Standards for outpatient programs, because there really are some breakthrough changes. It can make it much easier for us to do documentation, especially treatment planning. But I wanted to include this also in the group therapy process, a skills perspective, because the information that I'm teaching in that online course, and I have been teaching that process, that therapeutic process, for years now, and to students and continuing education and as a clinical supervisor. So if you're taking that course, you've heard me say that the group or group therapy, it's their group, it's the patient's group, and you want to let the topics of the group evolve. It's fluid. We want to let that surface, and there's some training about what to look for, what the patients want to work on, and not to come into the group with a topic already established, or a bunch of literature or worksheets, or to tell them, okay, today is going to be relapse prevention. And based on the new Part 822 General Service Standards, you don't want to have a program that has, this is what the program teaches or does or covers. Monday we do relapse prevention. Tuesday we do family communication. Thursday, and there's topics that they have to cover as part of their program, because they have the information that these patients need to know in order to recover. Okay, so that's not therapy. Okay, that's not clinical therapy. Now, groups you may work for a program that has educational groups or process groups, or patient education is one of the 12 core functions of counseling. So you may have an educational group where the counselor pontificates and teaches and elaborates on important information. Could be relapse prevention, identifying relapse triggers, or if you were a car, what type of car would you be? And worksheets and feelings worksheets and things like that. It could be an educational group, and that's okay. Okay, but that's not therapy. That's education, patient education. So for clinical therapy, our patients have issues that think there's something that they want to bring up in group or talk about in group. And if you come in and have a topic and move on from there, a lot of that stuff is going to be missed, and somebody may have something that they want to say up front. And if you're taking the group therapy course, I teach you not to do that, okay? Not to cover what the program needs to cover what the patients want to cover. Not to make sure that you cover the material that the program has to offer. That we're going to do this, and this because our patients need to know this, because we know what we're doing. Okay, no, bad. We don't do that. And as an education group, fine. Okay, but for clinical therapy, that's what I'm teaching. This skills perspective, you want to let the topics evolve through that system that I'm teaching there, as far as opening a group, feelings check, and touching on things. Okay, so just to give you some additional information about that, in support of what I've been saying for years, the new OASIS Part 822 regulations that went into effect August 2nd, 2021. I'm making this update video part here to show you that what I'm teaching you is actually the right thing, and Oasis is actually on board with that too. Okay? All right, so let's just have a look at it. Then this comes from Oasis, okay? And I put it in the training that I have on the professional documentation with the new Part 822 regulations. And this, if you're watching that course, you're seeing this. Or if you're taking the Group Therapy, A Skills Perspective 4.0, you're also seeing this, and you might want to check out the professional documentation with an update on the Part 822 regulations, okay? So I've already talked too much about this. I think you're with me on this. But this has to do with treatment planning for clinicians. That's us. And look at the date here, September 18th, 2021. So I'm giving you up-to-date information because these regulations took effect August 2nd, 2021. Okay? All right. Here we go. Let me go back on that. There we go. All right. So documentation and patient involvement. And this is where I've had an issue because my students have been coming back to me, and CASACs who have been taking my trainings coming back to me saying that, Mr. Rule, Professor Rule, the program I'm working to is the counselor's going in and with the topic, and the counselor's doing most of the talking. If there's interns are sitting in on group and other counselors, okay, and in the professional, the skills perspective, the counseling group therapy skills perspective, if you're doing most of the talking in group, if you're doing most of the talking in a counseling session, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. We want to hear from the patients. What do they want to work on? What are their issues? What have they identified that they want to work on? Okay, so this is coming from the new Part 822 directly from Oasis. This slide, okay, let's just have a look at it, okay? I've highlighted the important parts, right? Here. Treatment planning, and when you're planning treatment recovery planning with our patients, okay? You want to reflect what the patient wants to work on, and not what the program has to offer and expect the patients to participate in. And this is what was brought to my attention. Counselor came in, okay, we're starting group. Today's topic is, boom, boom, boom. Did a lot of talking and actually wrote some stuff on a board, on the chalkboard. And there was supposed to be group therapy, but she was running it like an educational group. And the intern and who observed said the patients were bored and falling asleep. Bad. We don't want patients falling asleep in group or being bored. We want them to address their issues, what they want to work on. For the most part, they know. For the most part, it has to do with family problems that they have. Family communication, be a better this, be a better parent, be a better father, be a better husband, be a better wife. Okay, so we want to work on what the patient wants, not what the program has to offer or expects the patient to participate in. Okay? And then the second part I've highlighted, treatment planning should be developed in collaboration with the patient. I say this all the time. To facilitate identification of the initial services and goals and updated with periodic progress notes at each visit with the patient. So when we talk about in the counseling, group counseling online training that I have, when we talk about the role of the counselor, I explain that. The role of the counselor is you are a facilitator. Okay, so look that up with that girl who talks to us on her phone because I do that in that class. Okay, and you're not a pontificator. Look that up on that girl who talks to us on the phone and see the difference of what we are and what we're not. Okay, we facilitate healthy change. That's what we do because recovery is a process of change. Okay, so and we facilitate healthy change. Okay, and this is the new part of the treatment planning is updated periodically at each and every visit with the patient in the progress notes. And if you want to know more about that, because that's part of the breakthrough, there is no more 16-page treatment plan with all the life areas with 30, 60, and 90-day updates. No, we're updating the treatment recovery process and treatment plan goals at each and every visit with the patient. Okay, that is their treatment plan. And I have a lot more about that, these breakthrough changes in the Part 822 regulations, okay? And then treatment recovery planning should include informed participation and an active voice that is evident in both the session and the progress notes. So when we talk about this active voice with the documentation, we want to not have it be in clinical terms. We want it to be, or OASIS wants it to be, we want to hear what the patient has to say. Okay, so patient states, and when I teach in documentation, it's good to put it in quotes. Patient states, I have 16 days clean, and we're going to discuss, and how does that feel, and blah, 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 blah. Feels good, okay? Patient states, I have 16 days clean. Discussed feelings. Patient says, I feel good about this. Is that the most clean time you've had? You ask them, and they say, this is the most clean, 36 days, 32, whatever it is. And we want to give the patient a voice in the progress note, not clinical terms. Give the patient a voice. And I know a lot of you are trained to write what evidence-based practice did you use in the counseling session. No, we want to address what the patient wants to work on in collaboration with the patient. What do they want to work on? And we need to put that in the progress note, and that is their treatment plan. What do you want to work on? Okay, we're going to work on that. That's their treatment plan. There is no more big documented pages and pages treatment plan, and that we want to update the treatment plan with each and every visit with the patient. This is OASIS language. Each and every visit with the patient. Okay, so if you want to know more about that, that's in the Part 822 Professional Documentation online course. So there's real breakthroughs there, okay? So we don't want the patients to fit into what our program has to offer or what we expect them to participate in. And we cannot be discharging patients who do not fit in with our program, okay? Because they're either not maintaining abstinence or they're not doing that. If you're not going to do what we say, I can't help you. No, we're going to work with them to address their issues. And that's what I've been teaching for more than 10 years, okay? All right, there's one more slide here in this update. Continuing review of treatment plans. So there's no more time frames on reviews of treatment plan, 30, 60, 90 days. No more time frame, no more big documented treatment plan with pages and pages and pages and pages. Let me get pages and pages of stuff, It's updated with each and every visit with the patient, group, or individual in their progress notes. Okay, so here. Treatment planning is a continuous process and is fully integrated into all clinical conversations with the patient, which I've been saying that all along, and here it is. And that informed treatment choices and shared decision-making is consistent with current standards for addiction treatment for substance use disorders. So this new Part 822 General Service Standards and this way of treatment recovery planning and updating the treatment plans in the progress note based on what the patient wants to work on. And it's fluid, it evolves, it's updated regularly in the progress notes. We got plenty of evidence, and I've looked at it, what they're saying. There's plenty of evidence and research to show that this is the way to do treatment for patients with a substance use disorder. Okay? All right, so that's a little up to the minute, really, update on really running a group and doing treatment and counseling and what we do with the groups. If it's an educational group, it's something different. But if it's a clinical therapy group, if you're doing group therapy, then this is the format you want to be following if you're working in a Part 822 outpatient treatment program. Okay? All right.